What advantage did they identify in using a real system for learning software quality testing?
I think that it makes the whole experience more real, basically, because you know that people are using this website, for example, every day, and you will want it to have the best quality possible. So I think it was interesting also to see the user interaction during the automated tests cases performed, because you could like I don't know how to explain it like quite well, but it was definitely an interesting experience because we like also saw how it is applied to in real life, the quality assurance process, and we saw the necessity, like how necessary it is to perform the quality assurance process in a website that is going to be deployed and used by many people.
Okay. The other question is, what are the difference you have observed when testing a mobile application to or compared to web application?
Okay, sometimes when we were testing this in the class, we noticed that, for example, the XPath for some elements will change. This could be like, for example, I don't remember correct exactly, but I think that something related to the countries will change. For example, we wrote a test case for that like the normal website, and then we tested it for a mobile website, and it didn't work. So we had to like inspect the mobile website to see what did change and what did not. That's pretty much that's something that did change. I don't know if anything else changes.
Excluding that, I think nothing else. Maybe, no, no. Cannot say anything else that changed.
Okay, it's a good presentation. The classmates are any question? Okay, we have a break for night because the partner connect to 9 a.m. We are ready.
Yes, teacher.
I see Don Carlos, it is in the room. Welcome.
It's a pleasure to be here. So I'm looking forward to hear what you had to say.
Okay, is my microphone okay?
Yes.
It is, yes.
Okay, so let's begin. First, good morning to all of our classmates, our teacher, and of course, our special guest. Today, we are going to present you about our quality assurance project that we worked together with GoLabs. My team partners are Alan Gonzalez, Josué Orozco, Francisco Javier Garcia, Nicole Jara, and of course myself, Juliet Campos. Okay. Okay, this is our table of contents, or all the topics that we are going to talk today. First, Gacela, what does this application consist of? Second, the types of tests that we applied and why did we choose this type of test. Third, the results of the tests, all the successes and the failures. Fourth, the defects found thanks to the test done. And finally, the recommendations and the conclusions. Okay, let's begin. Gacela, this of course, this app offers a variety of modules focused on different areas of management, providing various tools for logistics and other related processes inside the company. It's important to mention that we had like admin permissions, but we only had like a partial access to the application. We could test all the application, but of course we didn't have access to the inside information of Gacela.
Okay. Gacela is a personal internal project of Dola's company. And this project allows managers to keep track what happened in this company, such as human talent, indicators, reports, security, and many others functionalities. And the model that our team decided to work was Gcoins, and which is made of other 4 mini models that they are balances, transactions, products, and batches.
Now we have the Gcoins model. Okay, Gazella have different models like Gcoins, and Gcoins has like different submodels like balances, transactions, products, and badges. We were working on balance, transaction, and products. In balances, here we can we charge to someone, then Okay, here we can research to someone like G-coins and give them balance. In transactions, we can search all the transactions that the people have made, like so it's in the image. Also, we can search like for the start date and the end date, or whatever we're looking for. And now this is the view of to create a product. To create a product, you need a name, a description, the price, the countries that it is going to have impact, and load an image, then save the product. Okay, we apply two type of test in this project. The first one is black box, and the second one was security. Black box consists of testing a computer system or program without having a prior knowledge of its internal function, and it is using without knowing the code of the system. The goal is to identify defects and issues without specific knowledge of the code. And then security, this is a process of evaluating a system to avoid potential vulnerabilities and weaknesses that could be exploited by hackers or malicious people. And I think this is one of the most important tests that people can apply to his project, because when the system suffers an attack and doesn't have enough security, the company can lose important information and also money. And for this test, we use equivalences classes and pairwise combination to make this test, and my partners will explain better later on. Then why we choose this type of test? Okay, first black box, because of my partner said, we didn't have access to the code, so the best option to make the test was using black box. And then security, okay, first we were going to make performance testing, but for some things that happen, we choose to make security tests to avoid the things that I said before, like vulnerabilities and weaknesses that the system could have.
Hello, so I'm going to talk about the results obtained in this project in two main areas, the black box testing and the security testing. So for the black box testing, we have we do 100 test cases in three essential components of the Gcoins model. So we work on the 66 products testing, and we have 30 tests in the balances and 4 in the transactions. So of the 100 test cases we were able to automate, we do the 97% of this test, because we have some problems in the transactions model or component, but we need to work with the calendar, and we can access to the date using the ciphers. So our partner Alan tried to do in the manual way, but it doesn't work either. So we have the security test in which we focus on the logging process. We try in various methods to inject the malicious code in the inputs that expect other characters. For example, if I try to enter for example ¿cómo se llama? Asterisk, we receive an alert that informs us that we are now allowed to enter those characters. So we can do this testing. We can see the robust application that Go Labs created.
Okay, now we're gonna talk about some defects that we found in the system. First, we have in the transaction mode, the end date can be earlier than the start date. Next, please. And the second, we have in the same transaction mode, the same situation, but in another way. The start date can be later than the start date. Okay, and the third case, this is of the balance model. The G-coins reload should only accept the number values and not letters or another special character here. And we have some examples of this defect. Now all the defects are in the products mode. We tested a lot, so we have the defects in this part. The first is at the price. You can put any character. There's no character limit for this input. The same at the price input. They allowed special characters like more, minus, and plus. Now, at the input of name and description, they allow a special character. And the same, the input of the name, the product names can contain a numbers. And finally, in the products of this same field, there's no have a character limit, so you can put a lot of characters there.
Okay, and now giving like a conclusion to this presentation, I wanted to talk about all the conclusions that we had thanks to the development of this project. First, we wanted to talk about the great importance of the teamwork and the communication, because in this project we're working in the same models, like my partner said, products, balance, and transactions. So if someone had a problem or a doubt, we could talk about it and try to give it a solution. So it's very important to keep that kind of communication to improve our project, of course.
Okay, and as a team, we have just one recommendation, and this recommendation is the project should have a requirements document, and it's because it's a very difficult for QA department to know how to evaluate the quality of a product if this doesn't have writing specifications of what the product should be.
Yep, and that's it all for our presentation. I don't know if someone has questions.
Thank you. Any question?
I don't have any questions. Just congratulate the team again. Marlene, I can sense in this group that the groups were very consolidated and they showed a tremendous amount of effective teamwork, which is always something to celebrate, especially for computing students. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Carlos, do you have any question?
Not really. I was taking notes while they were presenting. The only question that I have is, did you guys automate any of the test cases? And if you did so, what tools did you use to automate?
We use Cypress to make the test.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm really interested in the results of this project. So it will be valuable for me to have this presentation along with all the test cases and the automation project. It will be really useful for me.
Yeah, of course. Our idea is to give you all the visualization that, or all the feedback, sorry, that we got for this project, all the defects that we found, and of course, our automation project. So maybe in this week or the other one, we will send you the email with all the information.
Sounds good.
Yes, all groups, repeat, must send the results to the companies with copy and me.
Okay.
My questions. What was your main learning about security testing?
The principal results of the security testing were that the login input was very secure because it didn't allow all of the special characters. So if we wanted to, I don't know, prove our SQL injection, we couldn't because the input was very secure with all the characters, with all the special characters and, I don't know, blank spaces and all those kind of things. So it was very robust.
Okay. Carlos decides to hire you as part of the Go Lab squad teams to improve the Gacela systems. What would you do first?
As I say in the recommendations, the first thing I will do is really make a requirements document, because it's really difficult work and you have to assume what is wrong or what is working. So I don't know if it is possible to say if something is good, you know. And besides that, I don't know. Really, I don't know what else recommendation we could say, or where we can start.
Yeah, we will start doing like this input. What is the correct input that we can make, or what is wrong? so we can do like better or proper testing of that input.
Good. Finally, during the development of the project, we assume that some of you playing the role of leader. In that sense, what do you consider to be the key skills that a software quality testing professional should possess?
Can you repeat the question, please? I didn't hear
Okay.
the last part.
During the development of the project, they assume that some of you play the role of leader. What do you consider to be the key skills that a software quality testing professional should possess?
Okay. So like I mentioned before, I think that the capacity of communication and teamwork, because I think that if you are working in a team, your great priority is communication. If you have a problem, you have to talk with your partner. If you are, I don't know, if you're doing well, of course you have to talk with your partners. If they have an error or a doubt or a problem, you can help them, because is that what a team is for? That you can rely on others to work better and give a better improvement. I don't know if I answered your question.
No, the communication is a very good skill. Finally, for me, any question in the room? Thank you. It's a excellent job. Thank you, Carlos. Is all.
Okay, thank you very much. Have a good rest of the day.
See
Thanks
you.
to
Thank you,
you.
Carlos.
We break for 5 minutes. Return to 9:30.
Marlene, can we continue?
Yes,
Or do you need because there's only one more group missing,
yes,
right?
you
You need a break?
break 5 minutes.
Okay.
Hello, Edley. I hope you are very well.
Hello. Sorry about my outfit, but I had to wash my hair today. Hope everyone is fine.
And let us start with the presentation.
Just a minute, please.
It's okay.
Okay. Sorry. I had permissions problems here, so I hope you're watching the presentation. Can you confirm, please?
We can watch it. I can watch it. I'm seeing it.
Thank you.
Hey, good morning. My name is Ronald, and with my partners today, we are going to present the QA project report. Next slide. This will be a timeline of the content that we have this presentation. First of all, I'm going to explain you the explanation of the app, what test we applied it, and forms in which the test will be applied. Then Jose will talk about the test on the registration form. Then Sebastián with test on the account form and test performance. And then Michael is going to talk about the present about the test on the transaction form. And finally, Brian with the general evaluation and recommendations. Next slide. This is the real world app, an application that is used by the company Grow Acceleration Partners to practice testing using Cypress. And the function of the app is basically be a web application dedicated to creations of bank accounts and money transfer. In the application, you can create a user, slide, create bank accounts for these users. And finally, you can make transactions with other users, for example, send or receive money, like Simpemoil. And the type of the test that we use are black box test and load test. And finally, the forms that we use for testing are the Signo form with 60 tests, create bank account with 32 tests, and finally the bank transfer form with 12 tests.
Okay, I'm gonna talk about a little bit of the sign-up registration. The test cases were made by Cypress, are made by Cypress. Next. No, the previous slide. Yeah. Okay. Don't worry. It's called the code to create an account. Well, we have here like the code to create an account and also the results. These test cases had the objective to evaluate the form to accept and validate the output data with different conditions. We made 60 test cases for the registration forms with a variety of parameters or conditions. And all the results succeeded. Also, well, there is the code from Cypress. There is like slightly variations from each test cases. For example, when a space is in blank, a new tag will appear with a red color, like evaluating. I don't know if the space is in blank or empty, and well, that's like the slightly variations the code had. And that's it.
Thanks. As Ron said before, we performed some black box texting over the create bank account form. As you can see in the form, we have 3 fields: the bank name, the routing number, and the account number. So we use equivalent classes to get test data, and we use parameterizable tests to perform this test with the tool of Cypress. Next slide, please. A total of 32 tests were applied, and unfortunately, 14 out of the 32 failed in the process. So these tests were executed to assess the form's ability to accept and validate the input data, but it failed. So next slide, please. So what is the problem with the form? We detect 2 types of undetected invalid values were identified. For example, texted values over the routing number and the account number. Those values are numbers and it is accepting text values. So there's a lack of robustness in the input validation. Next slide, please. Some corrective actions are recommended, such as improving the data validation to detect those invalid values, entries, and displaying a clear and descriptive error message. And after we apply the fix on the code, we must conduct additional tests to confirm the effectiveness of the corrections. Next slide. Thank you. So, in summary, the test revealed deficiencies in the form's validation, particularly in detecting the account number and routing number values. And 14 out of the 32 test cases failed in the process.
Okay. Well, we selected the new transaction form because in a bank project, it is a critical process. So we had to select it. So in the test results, we got 4 out of 12 that failed the process. And it's because of all of them are because of the amount filled. This one. That's why 4 failed, and it's because less than $1 is admitted as amount, and there is no amount limit. So you can type infinite numbers. Sorry, we found 4 software defects, and they are the results of this form. As corrective actions, we established a maximum. Well, we have to discuss a maximum amount for a new transfer and set a minimum of $1 for a transaction. And in summary, as you can see, 8 out of 12 were successful test cases and 4 out of 12 unsuccessful. We also divided the test cases in 2 files because Ellie gave us good advice. So we divided in 2 files, the fails and the success.
We also perform non-functional testing, such as a load test. Just a little disclaimer, the application isn't hosted yet, so we use my computer most for our learning purpose more than perform the load test correctly, for example. But this test is aimed to measure and analyze the behavior of the form under different loads of users, for example, and we use the Apache JMeter application to test. Next slide, please. So what are we looking for? We are using load levels, for example, the size of the users, 500, 1,000, and we are looking for the response time of the time taken by the app to respond to the user request, and the error rate, for example, if there's some error or there's a lot of excessive wait times. Next slide, please. And as we can see in the table, the response times is good in every load level. I think 1 second.
You can see it's a graphic is very simple, is of 104 total case, 86 successful, sorry, and 18 failed. Next is application tips, is recommendations, is the one recommendation is improve the delimitation in functions such as registration, deposit, transactions, and entry of bank data. And the second recommendation is establish maximum values for text input and in strict format in files such as first name and last name, username, password, and confirm password. Limit the usage of symbols in the some space. And the last recommendation is in Cypress. Okay, the Cypress automatic test uses a specific descriptions, sorry, for first case to improve clear details about the scenarios and specs aiding understanding for developers and the QA team.
If you have any questions.
I just have a brief comment that you guys all sound very confident, and I like how visual the presentation was. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I also have a comment well, I'm glad that you guys were able to complete this and that you were able to try things. And also I appreciate that you took all the suggestions that I made. I know this was a lot of work. And just in the future, if you have the opportunity to do more QA, or if you're interested in QA, one thing that that you guys try and I applaud you for that is the load testing. I know it's difficult, and it gives you like a perspective of how it works. Obviously, this was not like a real situation kind of thing. Usually you have you're testing how the server and the application are working together. And I know that it might have been difficult and the results are tricky, but it's good that you found different thresholds and things like that. So good job. Thank you for your effort on this.
Thank you, Ed.
You.
My question is, what was the main problem you confronted during the development of the project? How did you solve it?
I'm thinking. Charles, you are mute.
I think it was more like a methodological problem because the organization of the team is kind of difficult sometimes, but we pose that problem with communication and teamwork. So I don't know if
Okay.
someone wants to add more to the questions.
No, I think this is all.
Yeah, we didn't have any big problems, but yeah, we struggle in communication and teamwork sometimes in the evaluations.
Okay. Last question. What factor would cause you to prefer automatic testing over manual testing?
My
Personally,
case, I
I
prefer
prefer,
automated.
yeah, the same.
Me too.
Yeah, we can
Because
cover more parts or processes of the project automating tests.
Yeah. And after that, when we have like deploys and that, we can do like continuous integration and continuous deployment, and we apply those tests automated. So I think that's very good.
thank you. All the projects are excellent. Ellie, thank you very much for all your support during this semester. Thank you, thank you.
Anytime. Glad to help.
See you.
See you. Good luck with everything. Bye-bye.
Bye.
But
I concur with Professor Marlene. Great projects, great presentation, great English. I'm here if you need me. Well, I'm not there. I'm about to go to sleep because it's midnight here. But hopefully we can continue collaborating, Professor Marlene, and pat on the back for all of you guys. You did great. Thank you.
Thank you, Patricia.
Thank you,
Bye.
See you. Ya ahora sí voy a hablar en español. It's very difficult for me.
Para mí también todos.
Estoy muy contenta con los trabajos. Han hecho un gran esfuerzo, algunos con más dificultades que otros proyectos, ¿verdad? Cada uno tiene sus características propias. Concuerdo con ustedes que una de las habilidades más importantes en este tipo de proyectos es la comunicación, es la clave para lograr el trabajo que hicieron. Espero que ustedes también se sientan igual de satisfechos con los resultados que obtuvieron. Y creo que de mi parte sería esto. Nos vamos a estar viendo todavía para poder revisar los proyectos que ya cada grupo se anotó para poder hacerlo. Va a ser también, ¿verdad? Por aquí virtual. Y no sé si alguno tiene pues algo que agregar. Ya pueden hablar en español.
No, todo bien, profe. Entonces,
Solo queda el otro, que es la otra semana ahí con las fechas, bueno, horas y listo, ya estaríamos, ¿verdad? Creo.
Sí, correcto.
Ah, buenísimo, sí, sí.
Pero todavía faltan algunas evaluaciones por calificar, ¿verdad?
Sí, pero todas las que hacen falta son relacionadas con el proyecto, que serían el informe final, que tengo que revisarlo. Lo otro que faltaría por calificar es la presentación del día de hoy. Y el laboratorio 3, si mal no me equivoco, la asistente me dijo que ya casi lo tenía revisado, entonces creo que si no está ya publicada la nota, estaría entre hoy y mañana, bueno, en el transcurso de esta semana lista. Y lo otro que es, estaría pendiente es lo de, lo otro es lo del diario reflexivo, que la fecha de entrega está para, creo que como 2 días después de hoy, pues jueves o una cosa así. Entonces todavía tienen tiempo ahí de afinar
Profe, diario
y
reflexivo está
detallar.
para
El,
septiembre. Las
el,
fechas están.
Sí, la entrega del URL estaba para septiembre, pero tienen tiempo todavía 2 días más para poder, según lo que está estipulado ahí en la descripción del proyecto, para poder hacer las entradas.
Ok, ok. Entonces, sí, sí. Estaríamos, ¿verdad?
Sí, no sé si tienen algún otro comentario o pregunta, si no estaríamos hasta aquí.
Profe, lo del enviar por correo el informe a las empresas se hace después de la revisión de la otra semana.
Lo pueden hacer, o sea, si ya entregaron el informe final, creo que lo pueden hacer porque no creo que ustedes vayan a incorporar, digamos, solo que estén pensando en incorporar como las mejoras que yo les indique, digamos, si no lo podrían hacer como desde ya. Pero sí, digamos, para poder hacer la publicación de las notas en el acta, yo verifico, digamos, que todos los grupos hayan enviado a las contrapartes los proyectos. Entonces, sí, digamos, cualquier cosa, si hay algún grupo que no lo haya enviado, entonces cuando yo voy a publicar las actas, entonces pongo un mensaje en el grupo, todavía tengo pendiente tal grupo para que por favor envíe por correo para poder publicar las actas. Pero sí,
Y,
digamos, sí verifico que se haga la entrega.
y en español, me imagino, o en inglés también.
No, no, puede ser en español, como lo hemos venido trabajando. Y en realidad lo único que estaría en inglés sería la presentación.
Ok, pura vida, pues eso sería.
Muchas gracias, profe.
Listo, feliz día.
Estamos, profe.
Gracias, igual.
Chao, pura vida.
Hasta luego.